Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from beautiful Costa Rica. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist takes from you. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So I'm going to dig right into it. What the narcissist takes from you. This is a huge laundry list of things, and I'll touch on a few of these in this video. Some of the things the narcissist takes from you are your time. Think about the length of the relationship you were in with the narcissist. Was it a day, a week, a month, a year, a lifetime, decades? Who knows? But the point here is your time, to me, is your most valuable asset. It's your most valuable commodity because you can't get it back. Now, I'm not suggesting that your time in the narcissistic relationship was a waste of time. Absolutely not. I believe it wasn't. I believe, however, it was challenging, it was trying, it was unlike anything you had ever experienced because most likely you didn't know what narcissism was. And here you are on the channel, and again, thank you very much for being here. You're becoming educated, awakened, and aware. But time is one thing the narcissist takes from you. Another one is your empathy. Yes, your empathy, because when you were in the relationship, I'm certain you were an empath, or perhaps you still are an empath, and it's my hope. But now you, post-narcissistic relationship, you certainly have boundaries. You are not a people pleaser, and you're not a yes person. In other words, you've learned from this experience, which was the narcissistic relationship, and you now understand that you are the priority, that you come first, second, and third. No longer do you put people in front of yourself. So you still are an empath, and my hope is that if you have come through the other end of the narcissistic abusive cycle and risen through the ashes like the phoenix, this is the third version of you. Remember, there are three versions of you. There's the version of you before you met the narcissist, when you were in the narcissistic relationship, and third is the best version of you post-narcissistic relationship after you've healed. Another thing the narcissist takes from you is your social circle. Keep in mind, the narcissist most likely rendered a smear campaign throughout your relationship, certainly in the devaluation stage, and certainly if you were discarded, the smear campaign was well underway. But this is when you found out who your real friends were and who the people were that would be there for you when you needed friends, when you were isolated, and when you were alone, left for dead on the side of the road. I'm not trying to trigger people, just letting you know. The narcissist only cares about themselves, and if you were discarded, my heart goes out to you. You know that that was one of the most, if not the most challenging experience you had to fight through to get to where you are right here, right now. So these friends or alleged friends that you had, or perhaps flying monkeys, who knows? These people also are people that the narcissist, or are things that the narcissist took from you. However, when it happens to you, you may feel that this is the worst thing that's happened, or one of the worst things, because you've lost perhaps family members, trusted people, friends, but it's actually, honestly, it's a blessing in disguise once you come through the fire, because these people weed themselves out. And will they experience difficult times in life? Absolutely they will. Do you wish ill will upon anybody? No. But they showed their true colors, and they weren't there to support you or to help you. And believe me, we're all human beings. We all face challenges. So my hope is that they don't endure a narcissistic relationship. But again, my hope is way back when, if you were discarded, that they at least would be there for you, at least a little bit, but they weren't. Another thing the narcissist takes from you is perhaps your financial resources. Remember, you most likely experienced financial abuse. And when you entered the narcissistic relationship, perhaps you had a lot of resources, or at least you were stable and you were doing well in life financially. The narcissist saw this, and what did they do throughout the relationship? Well, most likely they asked you to pay for everything or most things while they built up their bank accounts behind the scenes, and they were financially abusing you, saying, oh, you make more money than me, you should be paying more, or you know what, I've fallen upon hard times and I really don't have any money, when in fact they have money squirreled away in a bank account somewhere. But this is what they do. They financially abuse, because why? Because the narcissist loves money. And what do they love more than money? They love your money. Play that again, it's a fact. So keep that in mind. My expectation, although I hope it didn't happen to you, but most certainly it did, is you were financially abused, so you lost financial resources. The same thing is with a house or your dwelling where you live. Most or many times the narcissist will ask you, if you're in a romantic relationship with them, or other relationships as well, that if they move in with you, that the house isn't quite big enough, we need to get a bigger house, we need to upgrade, when in fact, maybe there's only 2 of you, but you don't need a huge house, but they want you to get a bigger house. Think about that. That's exactly one of the things to do, because remember, the narcissist is never satiated, they're never satisfied. They always want more and more and more, but most importantly, they want to distract you and take from you. So that's another thing the narcissist takes from you. Another thing they take is your ability to believe in yourself throughout the relationship, and sometimes post-narcissistic relationship, because remember, most likely you did not have boundaries and you believed that these individuals, or this individual, maybe it's the workplace bully, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a lover, who knows, but you believed that these people were good people, when in fact all they were trying to do was pump you up during this euphoric/love bomb stage, only to have you put your guard down and then slowly extract your resources from you. It's exactly what they do. Another thing that you lost, that the narcissist takes from you, is your identity. Now, when I say that, I mean if you were in the relationship for a couple months or decades, you know that you became an extension of the narcissist. This was on purpose. It was insidiously, how do I say it? It was done insidiously, let's put it that way, to have you lose your identity to the narcissist, because you were always on that hamster wheel going around and around trying to make the narcissist happy and please them, when in fact you did not pay attention to your life and what is important to you, because you were hoping to get back to that love bomb/euphoric stage, which really didn't happen. The narcissist takes so many things from you. There is a huge list of things, but what do they actually give? They give nothing in return. You see, the narcissist is an empty shell. They're hollow. They are concerned about themselves exclusively and extracting as many or as much of your resources as possible. The whole time they were doing this, they knew what they were doing. That's another question people ask frequently. Does the narcissist know what they're doing? Yeah, they do. That's how come they can turn the charm on at the drop of a hat, and then behind closed doors, you can experience a rage fit or gaslighting or stonewalling, because the narcissist knows when to wear that mask to fool other people that don't spend as much time with them, unsuspecting people. And then the people that are closest to them are the people that usually get abused the most. Family members, significant others, things like that, because that's where the narcissist feels most at home to abuse people, because they know these people aren't going anywhere most times. The other things that the narcissist takes from you is, how about this? How about your family? Think about that for a minute. Now, your family, whether you married the narcissist or not, maybe you didn't marry the narcissist, maybe they just inserted themselves into your life or your environment. The narcissist knows what they want, and when they hone in on something that they want, which at times is your family or your relationships, they will look to disrupt them any way possible. You see, remember, the narcissist many times goes under cloak and dagger, under the disguise. They are like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And many times it's not until it's too late that you understand this person is toxic and that they've been doing these things behind my back for years. I have no idea. How did I know that? So your family, it's a huge one. Think about all the siblings that have had narcissistic brothers or sisters, and that sibling has blown up the family, or your mom, or your dad, or your uncle, or your aunt, things like that. Families get devastated from narcissism. They really do. And when you were younger, perhaps you thought that you had a healthy relationship with your siblings or your parents or your aunts and uncles and these things, and maybe you did. But as time goes by, remember, the narcissist shows their colors more and more each and every day, because they become the aging narcissist, and they feel more and more entitled, and they get more and more brazen, and they respect people less and less, including family members. So again, maybe your family was blown up. Same thing with marriages. If you married the narcissist, did that last? How long did it last for? Was it peaceful? Did you enjoy it? How many times were good? How many times were not so good? They took your marriage if you were married. Now, I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just letting you know, if you did marry a narcissist, I can assure you, when that wedding ring was slipped on your finger, that gave them a title and ownership to abuse you behind closed doors. The whole time, what were they doing? They were looking to extract your resources and search for your replacement, which is the new supply. Other things the narcissist takes are your friendships. Then friendships that perhaps you've built up for months, years, decades. Why? Because again, like I mentioned previously in the video, the smear campaign's fully underway. And when you didn't realize that you needed to defend yourself from someone who allegedly cared about you, then there's nothing to say. Meaning the narcissist was always on the attack, always trying to devalue you, diminish you, keep you isolated, which is another one. And they had the narrative the whole time. You didn't even know you needed a narrative during the smear campaign, because why would you? This person who turned out to be your friend, or who you thought was your friend and turned out not to be, they didn't have your best interest at heart. They were just waiting for the right moment to sabotage you. It's what they do. Same thing is with isolation. The narcissist, what do they take? They take your ability to go out of the house, to go to the store, to drive a car, to ride a bike, to get out in the community, especially post-narcissistic relationship, when you're putting yourself back together and you really are isolated and you really find out who your friends are and they're few and far between. They take that ability away from you to function properly in society until you heal, until you actually put the work into yourself. And this is probably I should probably do a series on this because it's extremely important. The isolation post-narcissistic relationship is unlike anything you've experienced other than the isolation when you were in the toxic narcissistic relationship. And that isolation, again, is very difficult, because whereas when you're in the narcissistic relationship and you're isolated, you don't know what's going on, you have no clue. And you just think everything's okay, but something's wrong, I'm not sure, I can't pinpoint it, and then boom, you get the term narcissism, and here you are. But post-narcissistic relationship, once you understand it, that's when you're really, I'm talking isolated to the nth level, because you have nobody around you and no one understands you. And the people you're leaning on, certainly most of them don't have the education on the narcissistic abusive cycle, and they only have so much bandwidth. But the list of things the narcissist takes from you, it is long. And I mentioned about 7 or 8 things here. I could do a whole series on this, and I should probably take one at a time to do a mini series. But the point is, it's a long list. And the narcissist, remember, they never had your best interest at heart. They don't now, and they never will. So the path is to go no contact, block, delete, and remove all flying monkeys and or people associated with the narcissist. When you're strong enough, when you're ready, that's what you do. Because you need to take action, if not now, when? All right, that's it. Guys, I hope you liked the video. I loved doing it from beautiful Costa Rica. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great evening. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand the narcissist took a lot of things from you. If you're being honest and genuine, we both know that they did. My hope is you're healing and or you have healed, and you are putting yourself back together, living your best life, and taking that narcissistic relationship as a massive learning experience. I'm not downplaying anything. I know it's difficult, but once you come through the fire, you will see things differently, that you had to go through that experience to get to where you are right here, right now. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Please remember that. You are not alone. We are all community, and I love you. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right. Good night, you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.